Hello and welcome, I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server, Everlasting. We're with Silver Phoenix, our martial arts scrapper, who's a level 42. We have 12 million experience, and we need 2 million to get to the next level, so it's going to be a while. We have 27 million almost influence, because I spent about 1.5 million getting our character the next enhancement set that I wanted, and this is on Dragon's Tail. Dragon's Tail now has the multi-strike enhancement set on it. Multi-strike gives 97% damage buff. Now I want to point out that mathematically, if you look at how much percent each one adds, it's actually supposed to be like 110, but there's an asymptote of about 100%. So it peters out. So it's basically doubling damage. It now does more damage than Thunder Kick, which is a fully enhanced power per hit, although of course it doesn't recharge as fast. Thunder Kick recharges in 2 seconds. Dragon's Tail recharges in about less than 9 seconds. I think I timed it in, it's about 7.8 seconds because of quickness and some of our other recharge bonuses. It has very improved accuracy, 1.79. It's now just about the most accurate power we have, which means it should hit everybody when we do the AoE and do a lot of good damage. It recharges in about 8 seconds, and it costs us way less endurance, almost half as much endurance as it used to, so that'll definitely improve our endurance. Now, we have 2 other powers, Storm Kick and Eagle's Claw, that are 6-slotted, that could take enhancement sets. But I don't want to do that yet for a couple of reasons. One is these are going to be level 45 sets. It's always better to get the level 50 sets, although these sets don't lose effectiveness. You can see, for example, that the 3 bonus enhancement, right, accuracy, damage, endurance is 18.4% each. Here, if we find accuracy, damage, endurance, it does 20% each. So it's slightly better. Now, the thing is, the damage is capped anyway. So this is doing like 98% damage, this is doing like 97% damage, this is doing 95% damage. So it's sort of capped anyway. But it's maybe doing a little bit better in some of the other areas, like we have. But this is a very good set, and so, you know, level 45 sets are fine. But also the other reason I don't want to put them all in at once is because I don't want to suddenly jump up the effectiveness of the character. Since I'm doing this as a Let's Play, I'd like you to see how it works as we add in one set at a time. So one of the things I want to point out from that set is now we have some actually respectable smashing resistance from that set, right? That set provides us with another 1.5% to smashing and lethal resistance. So we have some from this. Do we have any from this? No, we have some from this, right? That's weird, it should only be 3%. Why is it 6.75? That's weird. But anyway, we have some fire resistance, some energy resistance, some psionic resistance because of these sets, right? You can see that we have psionic and toxic 3.75 here. We have energy resistance at 2.25 here. We have extra melee defense and area effect defense. So our melee defense, when we put on combat jump, is now up to 34%. 32% is what you get when there's essentially no set bonuses, and 38% AoE. We're now best at AoE, and we've been for a while. So as I look for new sets, I'm going to be looking for ranged defense, right, and some additional resistances. Okay. So we're here, we now have our improved character, and we have a mission from Janet Kellum, who is in Founders Falls, and I also picked up a mission from Angus McQueen because we're trying to get story arcs from each of them. This is a Cray mission, so I think Janet's going to send us against Cray, but I'm not really sure in terms of story arcs. Obviously, for this mission, she's asked us to defeat the forces in the lab. So these guys are trying to take over a lab, and we have to stop them. Okay? Let's see who's on the sides here. Nobody there, nobody there. Alright, so we can just dive in. And one thing you will see is much better damage on the Thunder Kick. I'm sorry, on the Dragon's Tail. So when that thing crits, it's going to be really nice now, especially if it crits as an AoE to multiple guys. But it can actually now be used as a viable single target attack because it does as much damage as our other attacks, and it costs not appreciably more endurance. So that's actually really good for us. Now this is this room where there's often a lot of guys. I don't see too much in here, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive in. And we'll do some focus chi and finish him off. That's good. Oh yeah, there's the extra guys. So I apologize for my voice this morning. I think I'm getting a cold. Alright, so there's a boss. We don't want to have to take him on with all these other guys, so let's taunt. Pull him out. This is more just abundance of caution. We could probably take these guys without too much trouble. Alright, let's do our Dragon's Tail. Come on. I hate when it doesn't work after I click it. Happens sometimes. I think it's just like a miscommunication between the server and the client. So yeah, just clicked Eagle's Claw before the focus chi and it didn't do anything there either. Alright. Now if you want to do some math, right, the individual minions cost give you about 2,000 experience. We need 2 million experience. So again, it's like you got to defeat about 1,000 minions to level. Now you don't actually have to defeat 1,000 because bosses and lieutenants give more, and because missions also give you XP. Let's go ahead and take some inspirations here. Knock this guy over. He is a +3 boss, +2 boss. Sorry. Click. Come on. All right. Now that's definitely not reacting to my clicks. If that's going to keep happening, we could die just from the thing not responding to my clicks. See if we can knock him down. Yes. Now what I would have liked to do actually with Dragon's Tail would be to get a power to get enhancements that increase the probability that you do knockdown, but there's just nothing like that in PPAOE enhancement sets, which is unfortunate. Because I would really love to have a higher chance of to have a much more reliable knockdown, so that I could count on it more. The way it is, knockdown only really applies maybe 30-40% of the time. So if I do Crane Kick, Dragon's Tail, Crane Kick, one of those will work. And I'm still getting this weird bug. I went back and looked at the video. This compass was not this big on my older videos. I've rebooted and everything. I don't know what caused that. I'm going to have to ask in the Discord. See if it's happening to anybody else. Alright, this is just a standard 3 minion spawn, no problem. They're +2s, which is what we asked for. We're still on +2 missions. Yeah, you're not going to do Eagle's Claw to me, buddy. I'm going to do it to you. Okay, more minions. Again, no problem, and you can see Dragon's Tail's already recharged. Look at that, and it does nice damage now. So it takes a while to get it to the point where it can do that, unless you want to really focus on Dragon's Tail. I was focusing more on the single target attacks, but it works extremely well as an AoE once you have it fully enhanced. Right, and I remember having 6-slotted it in the late 30s or early 40s years ago when I was playing my original martial arts scrapper. That's what made me really love that move. When it's not slotted, obviously, it's very endurance intensive. It doesn't do a lot of damage. But when you've got it slotted, it's quite useful. And it does good damage. And it hits a lot now. Right, you used to see a lot of misses with it before, but now it hits an awful lot. But I think, unlike other AoEs with Dragon's Tail, the default accuracy is 1.05. A lot of other AoEs, like on my tanker and stuff, and on my controller, their default accuracy is 0.9 or 0.8. So it's like the AoEs by default miss more, and I think they do that because, you know, you're going to be attacking, say, 11 guys. You shouldn't hit them all, right? You should only hit like a handful of them, you know, maybe half of them, right? So that's why they do that. But then for a lot of the AoEs, you have to really work to get the accuracy up, which means then you're not working to get the damage up. And that's, of course, what they want when they design the game. They're like, okay, you can have an either very high damage fireball that when it hits crushes something, or you can have a lower damage fireball that hits everything, but you shouldn't have a high damage hit everything attack, right? Statesman was all about balance and they did lots of things that didn't balance and made a lot of mistakes, but they were always trying to keep it balanced so that you weren't able to, there was no power that was all pro and no con, right? That's kind of the way they tried to do it. All right, so this is going to be hard here because we've got this boss, but we have these guys up above. I don't want to aggro them down. So what I'm going to do is taunt them from here so that the boss does not see me, and I'm going to pull them out. Right, the typical corner pull, you break line of sight, which forces them to come all the way to you. Now, don't know if he's going to be able to come because he might not be able to jump over the... Yeah, he's having trouble jumping over the railing. So I'm going to have to go up to them. But I'm going to stay on this side and try to avoid the boss. And we won't be doing KB over toward the boss. Again, I clicked Dragon Tail and it didn't work. Okay, so that gives us the ability to go after the boss by himself. I'm going to go ahead and do conserve power here. We may as well. I've put another recharge enhancer on that. And so that will come back much more quickly. It comes back in about 5 minutes. We're going to eventually have triple recharge enhancers on that. It'll be coming back in about 4 minutes, I think, once it's all said and done. And oh, missed him. This guy's level 44 boss. You can see he can take a lot of damage. But we're doing okay. We've done enough knockback to him that he didn't hit us very much. Come on. There we go. And there should be another elevator up here. Yes, that's the way this map works. So there's 2 more levels, this level and that level. Usually there isn't one beyond that when it's this map. Speaking of maps, I'm going to need to work on the mission architect. What happens if we close this and reopen it? No, it's still got this really weird big compass. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to have to ask my my super roommates in the Discord and see what's causing that, because I don't know that I've ever seen that before in this game. Lots of dead ends here. This is a fairly large level. By the way, you can see we had over 2 million XP that we needed. Whoops. Come here. We now need 1.9 million. So we got like 300,000, I think, 200,000 XP already in this mission. So if you do it by missions, right, it's like, if you get 200,000 a mission, it's only like 10 missions to level up. This is our second mission at level 42. There's another boss. Oh, I missed this guy. Come here. Okay, I'm screwing up. Let's go ahead and put a luck on. Just negate his level bonus. And when I knock him back, if I can, I'm going to knock him the other way, just so I don't knock him into the room. Let's try Dragon's Tail. Knocked him over. That's what we want. You can now see he'll do it again. The recharge timer on Dragon's Tail is about 8 seconds. Just a little over 8. Which is not bad at all. And you can see the recharge timer on Crane Kick is about 5. So that means, like, in about a 9-second period, we can do 2 knockdowns in this guy. And he stays knocked down for a couple seconds, so he only gets like one swing at me every 9 seconds, right? Which isn't too bad because I'm going to have 5 or 6 swings at him every 9 seconds. So there's guys below and probably guys above, yep. They're not too close to each other, so we should be fine. Come on. Targeted the wrong guy. Do a knockdown. Got him. So now what I'm doing is modifying my attack chain so that instead of going Thunderstorm Crane, if I've already knocked him down with Dragon's Tail, I do Thunderstorm Eagle's Claw, and the reason I do that is so that the Crane Kick, you can't knock him down when he's already knocked down, right? So the idea is wait until he gets back up. You got to give him an actual move. He's got to get one swing at you. If you try to kick him, and you've probably seen it in the videos while he's getting up, he'll slide backward, but he won't actually be knocked down. So the idea is just delay it long enough so that you can apply a second knockback or knockdown. Don't need that, don't need that. I'm going to swap these out. Alright, here we go. So I'll show you. Here we go. We knock him down. Well, we didn't knock him down. There we go. That's a knockback. That's good. Now he won't get another swing at me, probably. But you see how he was getting up? If he was still in the process of getting up and I hit him with a Dragon's Tail, he wouldn't knock down again, right? We really don't need all these endurances. Okay, back to the map with the large compass. Now we go this way. Yeah, it's August 2nd today, and I'm getting a cold. At least it feels like I'm getting a cold. Felt like it yesterday, too. It was really weird yesterday. I was feeling like you do at the end of a cold rather than at the beginning of a cold, which is very strange. Now I feel like I'm actually at the beginning of a cold. Did I see somebody purple? I thought I saw purple. Alright, so these are +3 minions. They're level 45. Let's do a little extra damage to them because their level will mitigate damage. And we do a triple knockover. That's awesome. See how we're hitting almost everybody now? And we'll take a look with this person. Oh, he left. So while we're waiting for him to come back, let's take a look. Dragon's Tail. 95% chance against a level 45 now. Right, so we're capped. So we're not going to miss them much at all, right? At the beginning, I'd come in a group of, say, 4 guys, do Dragon's Tail, and it would only hit half of them. Now it's going to hit them, and then like recently it would hit 3 of the 4. Now it's going to hit them all every time, pretty much. Unless they're being debuffed, unless they have high defense buffs, it'll hit them all. It's another one of these rooms you have to be careful with, but I'm not going to worry too much. I mean, these are only +2s, and we've been doing fine. Come on with this one. See, I'm clicking these. Whoops. And it's just not registering, which is really weird. I wonder if the server's going to have some sort of an issue today. I don't know. Knock him over. That's good. So now we're going to wait till he gets back up. Now he's up. After that, you could do the knockback again. And these are just minions, so yeah, we don't care. Okay, took care of him. Have I gotten any enhancements in this mission? No. That is really weird that I'm getting so few enhancements. It's been going on for a while now. Alright, so we've taken care of all the Cray here. Now we go back to the previous level, right? This is a dead end. Alright. So one of the things you can do with Super Jump if you want to speed things up is to just quickly tap it. And if you're not a Super Reflex scrapper with quickness, that might be worth it. With us, our run speed is so fast now that we're doing way faster than sprint. I don't really feel the need to do that with Super Jump. but you certainly can. I don't know if I've ever really shown that before, so I guess it's good to show. Should have done that a while ago. Alright, next level. And this should be the end of this map. Oh, there's a guy right there, isn't there? Yep. 3 guys. Dragon's Tail. Hit all 3, knock 2 of them over. Right? So now, like, that guy got 1 swing at me, the first one got none, right? Or 1. So each one of them got 1 shot at me. There's a lieutenant who's +3. Yeah, these guys are all +3 in here, even though I've asked for +2. And that's why I don't put it on +3, because then these guys would be +4s, and that's just a bit much. Alright, let's head on in. She walked too far away to do Dragon's Tail on both of them. So we'll just take her out, and then come back. Knock him over. Knock him back. Oh, yeah, our messes aren't working. That always makes it harder. That should stun him, and then knock back, and he's done. When you get hit, it does hurt. We only have... Why do we now have 3% smashing resistance, which is what we should have had before? Oh, I bet we had a buff from coming out of Cimarora, that's why. That's what it was. We must have had a buff from coming out of Cimarora. We have Cray Narcotic. How is that still working? How is that permanently working on me? That shouldn't still be going. That's weird. Has that been going the whole time? I didn't even notice it. Huh. Alright, well. We're fine. Don't chase runners. That's one thing you've got to learn not to do. Don't chase runners. There's an enhancement. Let her come back to you, right? Or him. If you chase them, they'll pull you right into another mob. That's what happened. Oh gosh, if you watch my invulnerability tanker, I was in the mission. This character did it, where we were with Lady Jane, and it's a tanker, so I couldn't take out the Circle of Thorns spirits fast enough, and they kept running off, and Lady Jane kept chasing them. And she just chased them. She chased them from one mob into another and aggroed like 4 different, from one spawn into another, and aggroed 4 different spawns, right, all at once. And my tanker just couldn't protect her, and she died. And these guys do a lot of damage, even as minions, because they're +3. And again, we have almost no resistance. Gonna have to rest again. But yeah, she ran off. She aggroed one after another and ended up with 4 spawns of yellow, I think, Circle of Thorns, including lieutenants, right? And Liberty Lass just couldn't. Even Liberty Lass could not survive that. I had to run, and I couldn't. You know, I kept like running at them with my invincibility field to try and get the taunt going to protect her, but there's just nothing I could do. She was just there was no way to save her. She's a blaster. She took too much damage, and then I had to get out of there because they were doing too much damage to me. So I aggroed the other guys. I figured that was going to happen. That's all right. We're fine. We're fine, guys. Okay, he's done. Let's knock this guy over. There we go. again. That's good. This should finish him. Got it. Wow. Well, that was 2 spawns of +2s, so it's not surprising we might have to rest again. And I hear somebody walking upstairs. I don't know if you can hear it on the audio. So there's guys upstairs, and that's one of the reasons I kind of stayed over here, because I figured they'd see me. Yep. Finished him off. Let's try a knockdown. Good, that's what we want. How is this cray thing narcotic still on me? Injected me with a narcotic that slows my speech. After completing your mission, you should seek help from your contact. If you can't reach your contact, the effect should wear off. How about will wear off? Okay, dead end here. This brings us back to this other room. I didn't even see them. I mean, there's no clue. When did they inject me with the narcotic? I didn't even see that. Okay, dead end here. This is a pretty long mission. So we are working at a bit of a disadvantage. Our recovery is lower. That's one of the reasons why we're having so much trouble with, like, our endurance going down and stuff. Right? You can see that it's recharge time minus 15%, and so on. Recovery rate minus 1.42%. Okay, we got that. We found 1 enhancement this mission. And it doesn't help when you're under the debuff that these guys are all +3. This is actually a pretty tough mission since you're fighting +3s under a debuff. Or, well, the mission was designed to be fighting +1s under a debuff, right? Because we've got everything 2 levels higher than the developers originally asked them to be. Right? The way it was originally programmed, this would have been +0 mission, because you couldn't set the difficulty. And these guys are +1 to the mission, so they would have been yellows. Fighting yellows under a debuff is not that bad. Fighting reds under a debuff is pretty hard. Yeah, so these percentages look more correct. The other percentage, I thought they were looking very high. The other percentages must have been a simmer or above. Oh, look at this room. This is going to be this is the only mission we're doing in this episode, guys, because we still got, room is going to take a while, and then we got more down this hallway, so it's going to be a while, and that's all we're going to have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've enjoyed how nice Dragon's Tail is now. It's a great power. I mean, it's good enough that it's viable as a single target power, as a knockdown. I mean, I've been using it as pure knockdown up to this point, but now it actually will do damage. It does as much damage as, a little more damage, I think, than Stormkick, or about as much. And multiple targets and knocks down. So if you're wondering why Stormkick has the best DPS and DPE, I think, damage per second and damage per endurance, just as an individual power. Why is it so good? Well, because it doesn't have any secondary effects, whereas Thunderkick can disorient, and Dragon's Tail can knock down and does AoEs, and Crane Kick knocks back, and so forth. Right, all this does is straight damage. Has the Cray thing worn off? It has worn off. I thought I wasn't using as much endurance. It wore off. That's a little weird. I guess the mission's so long that it must be on a timer, and the mission took me so long that it wore off on its own. You can see how much better our endurance is doing now, right? We kept having to take a knee. That's why, because we had something akin to the Vajjalak wasting disease on us, and I didn't even realize it. I think they would have given you a clue or something so that you would notice it. I just thought, geez, my character's not as good and effective as I thought it was. Well, yeah, because you were under a debuff. See, that's what you do, or at least what I try to do. When I know I've got, when Dragon's Tail is up, we didn't even go to the other room. When Dragon's Tail is up and I know that, the enemy I'm fighting the current target is going to go down under the next hit, while it's animating, I always target the next guy, so that, is this just a dead end? Yeah. While it's animating, I always target the next guy so I can immediately go into the next kick. And if you can time it right, that can be very efficient. Alright, so we finished Janet Kellum's mission. We're not under our debuff, so we don't need to go right back to her. I'm going to go ahead and do Angus McQueen's, but I'll do that in another episode because this one's been long. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes. And again, I apologize for my voice. I've got a cold.